Hello, my dear starchivores. I'm going to show you how I make my one type of hash browns. In this pan here, I have boiling water, as you can see, and I have potatoes. And the potatoes, I have cut them in little cubes, okay? And I'm just giving them a quick boil, like 2 minutes. And then I chopped some, like less than half of a yellow pepper, red pepper, green pepper, and I'm going to put them here for like just 1 minute, so like a total of 3 minutes for the whole thing. You don't have to do the peppers. You can just do potatoes. I just had the peppers in the refrigerator, and I like to do it. It adds a lot of flavor, and also you could just buy this mix frozen already at the store. They sell this hash brown with the peppers and the onions, and sometimes I do for conveniency, but today I have time, so I'm doing it like this. And you know what, since I have rosemary here, and I like rosemary, you don't have to do this. I will just sprinkle a little bit so that they will absorb that flavor and the beautiful smell that rosemary has. You could use oregano, but you don't have to use anything. We're trying to make this as simple as possible. So remember that you can do it like this, like I'm doing it, or you can just buy this already frozen, ready to go. So 1 more minute. In the meantime, I'm going to chop 2 onions. The onions are optional, but I think they give them a really good flavor. So I basically cut the onion in like that, in half, and then another half. And then I cut slices, like 4. And then I chop, so you get small pieces of onion. Well, again, you want conveniency, go to the store, buy the bag of frozen chopped onions, and you don't have to do this. Sometimes, like today, I do have time to do this, so I don't mind. I may have put too much onion here, but if it is too much, what I'm going to do is use it for sauteing some mushrooms. I'm turning this off because it's been more like 4 minutes, and I don't want the potatoes to get too soft. And so there we go, 2 kind of medium-sized onions chopped. Then if you want them chopped a little bit smaller, you just keep chopping and you can get them smaller, but I think that this is fine. So now we're going to drain the water of the potatoes and peppers. Well, here they are. I have spread them in 2 pans actually, because I want them spread thin. I didn't want them to be piled up, or they don't get like the way I like them. So that's why you see here 2 pans. You obviously need a very good non-stick pan, because we're not using oil for obvious reasons of added fat, added calories. Hot oil is carcinogen. It destroys our endothelial lining of the artery, so we don't want hot oil. We don't really want oil. It's not needed. So it's about, I don't know, I put it at 8, so it's medium high. I will probably go ahead and cover the one that has a lid. The other one doesn't. And I will sprinkle a little bit of onion powder. If you have a salt substitute like Benson's or Mrs. Dash, go ahead and add it, or add it as you eat it. And if you eat salt or salt and pepper, make sure you use that when it's done as you're going to eat it, because you're going to use less. I didn't use all the onions. It was too much. So I'm going to use those for something else that I'm going to show you. Now, this, it's up to you now how you want them. I want the potatoes to be brown. So I think that they'll have to cook for 20 minutes or so. We will see. We'll keep checking. All right, well, the potatoes are being cooked. Don't touch them. I know you might feel urge to stir them, but don't, or they'll stick. It won't be a good thing. So I'm going to slice some mushrooms because I have them and I need to use them. So over there, I have the remaining onions that I didn't use, and I chopped 5 or 6 garlic cloves. Even though this looks like a lot of mushrooms are mostly water, so when we saute them, they will reduce considerably. And what do we do? Well, then you can add, as you're sauteing this at the very end, when they're almost done, you can add some greens to it, any greens that you like. And then you'll have my famous green mixture, which is very useful because you can have it with anything, as a side, or on top of rice, or on top with potatoes, or with the beans, you name it. So that's what we're going to do. Some of these stems are too long. I'm taking them, and we'll be back. Okay, 10 minutes have gone by. Let's check this. Okay, don't be afraid if they get a little bit stuck. It's all right. I seldom add water, although sometimes I may add a drop or two. I mean, very little. They do, you see, they do get unstuck. You might want to, at this point, lower it to 7 or even 6. Okay. I do like to use a pan that has a lid. Unfortunately, this one is more like a griddle, so it doesn't, but it's okay, because the lid gives it some moisture. Okay, so it's actually good, because this is the part that is crunchy. This is what you do. Nothing. No reason to panic if you see that they are getting a little bit stuck. Let's try this one now. The one that has the lid and has a little bit of extra moisture. And it's the same. Yeah, it's a little bit, just takes a little bit, but it easily comes off the bottom of the pan. And you know what? Because I boil them, some of them are falling apart a little bit, but that's okay. It provides different textures. Some will be a little bit like mashed, the others will be whole. Just adds a little variety. Okay, so remember, I'm not going to use anything, but use a salt substitute. if you're going to use salt, don't use it now. It gets diluted, but the sodium stays. So then you add more. So you add it, if you add salt, you add it just before you're going to eat it, so that the salt will hit your taste buds, and it won't take much for you to taste the salt. But if it is embedded here and cooked in it, you won't taste it. So technically I think they are done, but I'm going to leave this for another 5 minutes, okay, because I like them a little bit browner. So 5 more minutes. All right, well, I'm going to turn this off and get the lid off, and I am not going to touch them, okay? I will leave them there to cool off for, I don't know, 10 minutes or so. Then it will be easier to get them out of the pan, off the pan. And in the meantime, I have turned the oven on to 450, because while you're doing this kind of stuff, use the time wisely. Do other things that don't take any work, like bake potatoes. Bake a big pan of sweet potatoes, or sweet potatoes and potatoes, to have them for later. I only have 3 sweet potatoes, and so I will put these 3 in the oven at 450. The reason I put parchment paper is because they start releasing the sugar, and I don't want to be cleaning the pan later, so I just use that. All right, so we'll be back soon. About 15 minutes have gone by, so look at this. Look at this, it just comes off. You just have to trust that the starch will do its job, and that I'm going to use my clean hands and put them in this glass pan, or any pan you want. Of course, I'm not going to eat all of this for breakfast, but remember, you want to make enough for more than one meal. Unless you have time and really don't mind cooking every single meal. I would. I just don't have enough hours in the day for all the things that I do. So I need to make enough to last for leftovers. Same thing with this one. The ones here turned out crispier, but nevertheless, both of them are going to be absolutely delicious. Remember to have your greens first, or with it. Brussels sprouts, asparagus, kale, spinach, Swiss chard, broccoli, cauliflower, bok choy. I mean, the list goes on. Just look for greens. I mean, yeah, Google if you want to, and you'll get it. Although I will be sending you a list. Look at that beautiful pan of hash browns. All right, so next I'm going to wash these pans, and in this one I'm going to make my mushrooms.